Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about episode 12 of Tower of God, season 2. Everything we've seen happening over the last few weeks seems to be coming together and actually bearing fruit as we see two members of Khun's team ending up joining Baam and potentially working with Fug toward the workshop battle, where at the same time we see Khun actually being added to our main team that Baam was with, and he's going to actually be working with them. Now, it wasn't quite that simple, and in both circumstances, somebody intervened to make it happen. Let's deal with what's happening with Baam and the people who have grabbed him and the people joining the team and all of that first, and then we'll jump on to talking about Khun's situation. If we talk about the situation that Baam has found himself in, what we see is that he was brought by that girl, Kasano is still there, and the two teammates who are fighting against the right arm devil guy are still around and alive. And what happens essentially is that Baam makes a deal with the girl that has brought him into the fold, whether he liked it or not, and has basically informed her that he wants to team up with the two people who have been left behind from Khun's team. And he convinces them, at least temporarily, that they should work with him and that he is not their enemy. So obviously Baam trying to cover for Khun, which I think is really interesting because you gotta remember Baam's whole shtick is the reality right now that if he fails something, then the people he cares about die. And it's interesting to see him take that situation and almost extend it onto Khun, because we know that Baam knows that that is Khun and everything, and he's aware of what's going on and all that. So to see him consciously or not actually extend the situation he is in to try and protect Khun not only from death but from actually experiencing that situation is rather unique. On the other side of the coin, we have the reality that Khun has been found by the people who went after Baam and Right Arm Devil Guy, trying to find them and help them and everything, and they find Khun and they find Baam's thing that he left behind so that somebody would be able to locate Khun, and they bring him back and they have him on a bed and they're trying to help and heal him and stuff. And Khun being Khun, when he becomes conscious, he grabs Wanyan and he sticks a pair of scissors at his neck like he is about to go to town. Which I don't blame him for that kind of reaction, given everything that's just happened to him and how much on high alert he must be after what he experienced. I can understand where he's coming from. Fortunately, Khun is generally a pretty reasonable character and is usually interested in gathering information and finding things out and using situations to his best advantage. So they end up all talking and everything, and he ends up realizing that these people are not Fug. They might know Viole or Baam as we know, but they are not actually part of Fug. So then they all end up going to Khun's hideout or whatever. And of course, we find Dan. And we find something I didn't expect. We actually find that Dan is alive. When we saw Rachel go into town stabbing him in the last episode, I thought she was stabbing him in the back. I thought he was done. And I mean, figuratively, she absolutely was stabbing him in the back. But that wasn't actually what was going on. It's not any vital organ that she went for. She took out his legs because she seems to have it in her mind that any kind of damage to somebody's legs is going to irreparably destroy their morale and is going to make them wish that they were dead. Which I don't get why she would have that kind of logic, because her legs work perfectly fine. It's her moral compass that got stabbed to pieces. And that is basically irreparable. So I don't get that one. But it's interesting to see that that is what she did, because what we end up discovering is that Dan wants to still take part in everything and still wants to work with everybody. And he doesn't want to just give up. He wants to prove to himself and by proxy to Rachel that she's wrong. And I find that incredibly admirable. I'm somebody who has a lot of trouble with my legs, so when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I have nothing on that level. My stuff's like arthritis and I've had skin conditions and stuff. But the idea of something so vital to you not functioning, but still having the drive and the tenacity to keep going, even in the face of what is going to be undoubtedly painful and difficult and frustrating, especially for somebody who was such a speedster and stuff. That's going to be a lot harder psychologically, because he's lost something important. They're still physically there, but mentally, because they're not going to work the way that they once did, I would presume at least, he's going to be dealing with some phantom pain, and that's going to be a real pain in the ass. The last major thing that we see go down is that the person who found and brought Baam into Fug is actually shown back up, the red-haired lady, and she's talking to Khun, and she wants Khun to team up with Baam's new friends, and she wants Khun to lead them into the workshop battle, because apparently the Fug elders have some kind of deal going on where if that team can win the workshop, then Baam can rejoin that team, and that could potentially, maybe, we'll see, lead to Baam and to Khun, who seems to be getting much more clear on the fact that it is Baam, into actually getting to work together with him, which would definitely be a very interesting thing. We also see that, there's a lot of backstabbing and politicking going on within Fug, and to control what Baam does and everything. And I mean, these people are keeping a pet tiger, and they better pray that he doesn't break off his leash, because I mean, Baam as an individual is a nice person, but he's been trained to be a killer, and it's these people who've been doing that, and they've been doing it by force and manipulation and coercion. And one of these days, I'm not saying I do or don't want him to deal with the jihad characters and stuff like that. I couldn't care less either way. I want to see more about what the deal is with them, and I'll reserve judgment until I know more, obviously. But I definitely want to see him find a way to give these Fug jerks 2 middle fingers up, because what they've been doing to him is utterly inexcusable and disgusting. But it looks like we are going to have Khun teaming up with the characters we've been following for the majority of the series. It looks like we've had kind of a Red Rover crossover kind of deal. And it's going to be interesting to see just how that will go down, because you have to remember that the team Khun was building and designing was about being as absolutely brutally efficient as possible. And the team that Khun is going to find himself with now actually has massive vulnerabilities, but it's also Baam's team. So we're going to have to see how that goes and how Khun will deal with that entire situation, because that should be very interesting. I wonder whether we're going to end up unwittingly finding these two groups competing against each other, since they both seem to be heading in the same direction. That could make for some very interesting situations, but we'll have to see what happens. Overall, I was quite happy with this episode. I thought that it was interesting. I think that we are making progress and moving toward a clear goal, which is definitely a good thing. And I think we got some interesting character insights and some interesting new discoveries here that definitely add some more depth to the overall story. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking, so drop a comment below and let me know. And I'll talk to you in the next video. See you later. Bye!